I've landed in the country of Benin. I'm doing Africa on Apache, different countries on TVS Apache. Everyone has already deplaned. Now it is my time to deplane. I am the last passenger, but I have a surprise waiting for me, which is my ride is ready.
Welcome to Benin. What if you had just 3 days in hand to get a taste of this amazing West African country on a motorcycle? From being the birthplace of voodoo to having Africa's longest graffiti wall. From the world's largest floating village to the world's only Python temple. This country blew my mind in just 3 days.
And I'm going around Africa, different countries, on the Made in India TVS Apache RTR motorcycle. And this is a very proud moment because I get this insane opportunity to present you African culture while riding a motorcycle which has been made in my country and exported around the world.
Considering the majority of Africa is still developing, a reliable performance motorcycle like the TVS Apache RTR, backed by the goodwill of India, for the Beninese motorcycle enthusiasts is extremely important. Benin is my 5th country in the series called Africa on Apache, with Egypt, Senegal, Mali and Cote d'Ivoire being before this.
This here is Africa's longest graffiti wall, and with me is Zizola. He's from Benin. He's a Beninese. I think that is the correct way to say it. And he's an influencer on TikTok majorly. And he is also a comedian and he does short videos. And what he's doing is right now, he's taking me around Cotonou, which is the biggest city here of Benin. It's not the capital. Capital is actually Cotonou. And we are on 2 TVS Apache RTR motorcycles here in Cotonou. And look at this wall. So this wall is actually almost 1 kilometer long. And it has been going on since many years. There has been a lot of festivals which, are held where people from all around Africa and the world, they come and they do this amazing art. This was the most relevant one. So the Fidjrosse is basically a beach here. And that is the name written on the number plate of that motorcycle. So Zizola and me are going, he speaks only in French. So if you want to see his content, you can go to his TikTok and have a watch.
Bonjour, ici c'est Zizola, le comédien, influenceur. Je suis avec Monsieur Sani, le motographe. Il est un motographe. Il a quitté l'Inde. Et je suis avec lui aujourd'hui, un grand conducteur de Apache. Et nous sommes avec Apache, un moto super bien.
We then started with a bang by involving a few motorcyclists and TVS Apache riders in Cotonou from the TVS showroom. It started with a gathering and then a few of us went riding on the busy streets of Cotonou that is dominated by thousands of zemijans or motorcycle taxis, each wearing a different color representing their commune. And this makes Cotonou even more colorful overall and motorcycle friendly. Well, sort of. The traffic can be hectic a lot of times.
Alright, so I'm just riding along this graffiti wall. And it's cool. Zizola is with me. And we are on these 2 beautiful Apache RTRs. Design really matters. Especially, I think, amongst the youth. This is beautiful, man. Lot of color, lot of energy. This lane is only for bikes and there are actually 4 lanes. 3 lanes are for cars. And this road here is quite important. A lot of important things are on this road, like the President's Palace and stuff like that. Even this wall is here.
We were also joined by a stunter, Abdul Rashad, who absolutely loved the TVS Apache RTR because of its lightweight and performance. And he showed how it needs to be done.
Welcome to the kingdom of Dahomey. Yes, this is what Benin, the country that I'm standing in right now, was called in the ancient times. And behind me is a warrior, a female warrior, which were also known as Amazons. And Amazon is actually a Greek word, which means relentless and fearless female warriors, especially on the battlefield. Much like the bikes over here. You can say these bikes are like the chariots for people like me to discover different places. You know, this place is like a plaza where a lot of people come from around Africa and around the world to meet and to see this befitting tribute to the female warriors of Benin. I mean, they had a huge hand to play in the independence that Benin got in 1960, which was not very long ago. Not only that, Benin was the first country to have true democracy in Africa. So this here is not Europe, it's not America, it's not Australia. This is Cotonou, Benin in Africa. Most of you might have not even heard about the country named Benin. It's, look at this and, it's amazing. I have no words right now because if you just blindfold someone and making them come here, they will not be able to guess where they are. Maybe France because everything is in French. And this crazy, look at this, the amount of options that are available here. Oh, God, unbelievable.
So even here they are playing football like in the parking lot of a supermarket. That's crazy. The next day saw us go to the world's largest floating village of Ganvie, located in and around Lake Noko.
This is an amazing experience, just to understand that people have adapted to live on water like this. And in fact, the land that you see here, they have got a lot of sand from the mainland, and apparently the lake is not that deep. So they've used sand to reclaim some of the water, but most of them are on stilts, and they use material which lasts for around 4-5 years, and it gets, it's biodegradable. So basically it goes back to the environment, and they have to make it again. And where the children and everyone are so happy here. It's like literally you don't feel that there is a lack of love, and sense of community is very strong here.
Benin was continuously surprising me. For a country that is not spoken about much, it has a lot of significance for the whole world. From the mind-blowing floating village of Ganvie that shows man can settle and live anywhere, we head out to a place of immense importance. The village of Uda, an hour away from Benin and the birthplace of Voodoo, and into the only temple dedicated to pythons in the whole world.
I'm in Voodoo, and this is basically considered to be the spiritual capital of Benin. And right now I'm inside the temple of Pythons, Python temple. And here, this is around 600 years old tree. It's considered to be a sacred tree. So I'm giving these offerings, whatever it is. So like in India also, we have to clean our hand.
So sacred water.
And this is sacred water like...
Niger slopes.
Okay. Oh, wow. So, pythons, We've always been told they're very dangerous. And but now I have a live python around my neck. And I think they're very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can kill if they want my neck. And also there are around 50 pythons inside. And what they do is they open the doors sometimes.
Yeah.
And the pythons can go anywhere in the village and they can eat whatever they want. And they go inside a home. It is a very special occasion for that home. And they have ceremonies and they pray to this and then they feed. And then if they don't come back by themselves, they drop it here. Wow. Oh. Shit. I'm with around 50 pythons in this temple. And they live here. They do whatever they want here. And they are everywhere, you can see. And they're saying that they're harmless to humans. This is, I think, one of the highlights of my entire 76 and 75 countries, Yeah, it is amazing. I have no words. It is truly an amazing place to be. Okay, so this is the water which pythons drink. And if I wash my hands with it, and I can make a wish. Of course, it has to be a positive wish. Right? This is the iron god, also known as Ogu. And this god, you pray if you are doing anything with hardware like motorcycling or anything. But, like Vishwakarma in India.
Like in many religions, voodoo also involves some animal sacrifice. But I was not expecting the sacrificial altar to be so accessible and out in the open.
I'm still in Voodoo, and behind me is a voodoo temple. And we are not allowed to shoot inside. So I'm shooting from here. Also, if you look at this place, the sacrifices for the sheep, and I believe it's only sheep, it happens here. And if I'm trying to go inside, I can actually feel the stench of death. It's really, really very pungent. And we're going to go to a very interesting place where there's an aircraft on the beach. We saw this place, so it's basically a lake, lagoon sort of thing on both sides. So you can see a lot of salt. And, you can buy salt from here also. And it seems as fresh as it can get. And here you have salt harvesting. I saw something similar in the Pink Lake in Senegal. And, this is very good because all these things, they support the economy, and it is very important for a country like, Benin to have these sort of options, to get money for the locals.
Not far from here in Uda also lies something horrific, something that humanity should never approve of ever again. The door of no return.
This behind me is called the Door of No Return, and this is actually a very important part of African history and Benin's history, and it's not something humanity should be proud of. So basically, this door is supposed to represent slaves which were being sold off and never to come back. So once you cross this and you get on a boat to wherever, to Europe or to Americas, you are sure not to return back. And there were thousands and thousands of such slaves. And these boys here, probably they represent, I don't know what, but they have this white sand on their bodies. Probably they represent that they are being sold off to white people and they become their slaves. It has to represent that, that is what my logic says. I have not asked anyone because they don't speak English. Whoever was involved in this, the generations to come, they should be actually ashamed of themselves.
I had to clear my mind and soul before I could move to our next destination. The door of no return had a deep impact on me and left me wondering how unfair life is. Now it was time to head back to Cotonou and to the famous Fidjrosse beach, where you can visit an abandoned plane.
So I've never actually sat in a cockpit of any plane. Doesn't matter if this plane is not functional, but this is crazy. The amount of controls, it is insane. And I think this is here, it's the throttle, I believe. And so many dials. Like, they should work on making planes a little less complicated, Oh my God. It's like a F1 cockpit, The Fidjrosse beach offers tranquility, especially at sunset, and it gave me a chance to reminisce on all the incredible experiences I had in Benin so far. The TVS Apache RTR was a truly amazingly capable machine and the perfect no-nonsense companion to everything I saw. In fact, being a photographer, I just loved how it lent itself to being captured in different environments while looking super poised and cool in the street fighter stance. I'm here in the middle of a roundabout, and behind me is Payo Guerra, which was sort of a freedom fighter, and he's revered, of course, that's why this statue is there. But most importantly, what I actually figured out, it was very easy to do that, is that the TVS Apache logo here, the galloping horse exactly matches this monument, and this is what horses depict. They depict going forward, always in motion, strength. These three machines, a lot of people are buying them here in Benin and everywhere in Africa that I've gone so far. Motorcycling is the last sport left for the urban man. That is also what I keep saying.
Football is the national sport of Benin. You can spot people of all ages playing football anywhere and everywhere. It is truly an amazing sight to see. So much energy and freedom in a country that was once under colonial rule and was exploited for slavery.
Behind me is market Dantokpa, which is Africa's one of biggest open air market in Africa and the biggest in West Africa. It is spread over 20 hectares. That is an incredible amount of space. I mean, look at this. So many alleyways. I mean, there is no space for even you to walk. And the turnover per day is 1 billion CFA. CFA is Central African francs. That is a lot. So they are going to demolish all of this and they're going to relocate it to an even bigger facility, I think spread over 500 acres or something like that. But that is going to be a very big thing, moving so many people and so many people's livelihoods. Being with the TVS Apache RTR here in such an exotic country, which is made in India, this bike, it's an amazing experience. And I'm very proud. Again, and this is an example of a very healthy trade international trade, I might add, which, of course, this market behind me also represents.
It was now time to visit a place where not many foreigners go in the city of Cotonou, to the voodoo section of the market.
And look at this markets. This is really amazing in a way. It's like amazing, crazy. Okay, so voodoo, like I said, it's actually a religion, like so many religions around the world. It's often misrepresented, misunderstood, and yes, it involves dark magic and other things. It's a very complex religion. And I think over 60% of people here in Benin, they practice voodoo, and this is the birthplace of voodoo. And all these things that you see here, they are being used in some way or the other. And I've also learned that, voodoo is essentially means that everything has spirit. So from what I understand, everything that you see here, which is dead, also is actually alive, which is animism. So even my hat, my cap, my watch, everything is alive. I have no words to say. I'm a little shaken right now, because death is, of course, a reality which will come to all of us. But after that, if you're shown up like this and you're still useful, then in a way, it's crazy.
Cotonou is a fairly developed city. Though there are not many tall buildings, however, the urban sprawl is growing fast and demands for cars and performance-oriented but affordable bikes like the TVS Apache RTR is increasing. My fourth and the last day in Benin saw me visit a sort of automotive orphanage where thousands of cars of different segments that had been sold off in countries like the USA or Europe were now being sold here for significantly lower prices. After this, we head out to a used motorcycle shop, one of the biggest in Benin.
So I'm in Cotonou here in Benin, and there are not many superbikes here, but there are some very cool motorcycles that can go into any collection in the world. And let's have a look at those. This is a Kawasaki Conquers here. This is costing around 5.5 million CFA, which is around 8 lakh rupees, Indian rupees. This one, I think, is a first-gen Hayabusa over here. Oh my God, this is this what I think? This is a ZX12R. This is the big daddy, the speed king. Oh my God, a bunch of, I think, 1200 RTs. Probably these are police motorcycles, I'm not sure. And yes, my first big bike. Blackbird is also here.
And then the owner of the shop invited me over to show the real deal.
Bentley. Whoa. This is crazy. The keys.
Benin was truly a revelation. One of the smallest countries in Africa, it packs a serious punch with its history and what experiences it has to offer. To you, as someone who really wants to know how powerful African nations were before they were colonized, the brutal slave trade, and lots more. My next country for Africa on Apache would be Cote d'Ivoire. Till then, ride safe.